4, we investigate the shocking revelations by Nigerian investigative journalist David Hundeyin, who recently exposed an attempt to bribe him with 800,000 naira to smear the Dangote refinery. According to Hundeyin, the bribe was offered by a foreign NGO seeking to tarnish the image of one of Africa's largest and most ambitious industrial projects. The story underscores the length at which entities might go to manipulate public perception and also critical role of journalists in the media.
So in an era where misinformation can easily sway public opinion, Hundey's refusal to accept the bribe and his commitment to ethical journalism are commendable. But these incident raises important questions about the integrity of information circulating in the public sphere and the pressures faced by journalists in their pursuit of the truth. The Dangote refinery, a symbol of economic progress for Nigeria, has now become the focal point of a sinister plot that could have far-reaching implications.
So as we unravel on both sides this story, it's essential to consider the broader context in which these events are unfolding. What does this attempt mean? And how exactly did this interaction go between our guest today and whichever NGO this was? We now have joining us the journalist himself, David Hundeyin. Good morning, and thank you for joining us, David.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you once again. So the journalist, David Hundeyin, who's a Nigerian journalist, he's of course living outside the African continent. I think he's kind of living in Canada or the United States. One of those is living in North America. Let's say generally. Now he said that one of the Western institutions, which is an NGO that is getting funding from, of course, the European Union and the Ford Foundation, came out to bribe him so that he can tarnish the name of Dangote oil refinery, so that he can write incriminating pieces or dirty pieces on Dangote as an investment that is not worth it. Connect Africa here has extensively done analysis on the Dangote oil refinery, and we have covered this refinery, extensively. If you go on any other platform, there's no platform which has covered across the African continent, of course, and even in the diaspora. There's no platform which has covered Dangote oil refinery as we have, from stage to stage. We have covered the refinery and all the attacks. We have exposed imperialism. We have exposed even the Western biased reporting on the Dangote oil refinery. And we have attempted to show you the workings, of neocolonialism and imperialism, the classical workings of neocolonialism, on the African continent, basically with the focus on the Dangote oil refinery. But this journalist has come out and also to point out that in addition to the media platforms like Reuters, Bloomberg, and all of them who have been attacking the Dangote oil refinery, the imperialist organizations, of course, which Dangote himself called the cartel, mafias, the oil cartels or the oil mafias, who he called that they are stronger than the drug mafias. And of course, he refers to the international oil companies who he is battling. He has been battling them, ever since the refinery started the operation in January of this year, that they have been attacking him. The refinery, of course, has ramped up its production. It is a 650,000 barrels per day refinery, which is, has the ability. The refinery has the ability of meeting all, Nigeria's, refined oil needs, and of course, even the general West African region. And this refinery also has the ability, if you look at it, of bringing down the cost of aviation fuel on the African continent, which would, of course, help the African continent when it comes to air transport, that the air transport would even come down when you consider the production, the fact that they are even exporting, actually, some of the aviation fuel to Europe, and even the diesel, which they are producing currently, they are sending it to Europe. But what he is experiencing tremendous attacks from both the local cartels who have interest in the importation of these fuels, but also the international oil companies. And the fact that the international oil companies like Shell, ExxonMobil, Chevron, Total of France, a share, and a share of Britain and Netherlands. Of course, other people have said that a share is from Netherlands because it's called the Royal Dutch Shell, but its headquarters, the headquarters of Shell, are in London. They are in Britain. And Chevron and ExxonMobil, both of them are from the United States. These are the companies with Total of France who have a grip on the Nigerian resources, oil resources, that they have been exploiting these resources for a very long time, since 1955, even before Nigeria got its independence. So these are the cartels who think that they cannot lose a grip of these oil resources and leave it to the Nigerian people to benefit. And this is what Dangote is fighting against. So Dangote is basically fighting for himself, fighting also for the Africans. And that means, like how we have analyzed imperialism in the past, you have to fight against imperialism on the international stage, which has interests within the African continent and within the Nigerian space itself. And you have also to fight the stooges, the helpers of imperialism, who are Africans, in orientation. So this is what Dangote is fighting against. Now he's fighting against this, and he's fighting now against the machinery of imperialism on the international stage, and that includes their media and media platforms like Bloomberg, Reuters, who we have seen that they have been publishing fake news on Dangote to tarnish his name. BBC and all these. Some of them, even most of them, they are not happy actually about the fact that Dangote, started the refining of oil, okay, because they see that it is going to lead to the closing of about 90 refineries in Europe, which have been sending dirty fuels, on the African continent. Therefore, this is when an addition again came in the form of a non-government organization, and that non-government organization, which has its headquarters in Britain, the so-called Britain, also came on board. This is the organization called Dialogue Earth. This is the organization which reached out to David Hundein, the African journalist, for him to write an article which would tarnish Dangote's image. And as we can see on their website, they claim that they fight for climate change, and therefore they are fighting for a world which is run on renewable energy. But in all that, we see that their origin is is London. They come from London. That's where they are based. If you check on their website as an organization, that is where these people are based in attacking Dangote. So they came to him, they came to David Hundein, and they wanted to bribe him so that he can tarnish Dangote's reputation. And they paid him money, actually. They paid him money, which is close to $500. And, he refused, of course. But of course, there's a lot of lessons to learn in this kind of attack that they are doing, even these NGOs themselves. The attacks they are doing on Dangote, and also on the African continent, of course, there's lessons to learn in this when it comes to narrative, and of course, also our understanding as Africans when it comes to criticism of our own continent. All right, we need to learn certain lessons when it comes to criticism of our own continent, because David Hundein, as a Nigerian and as an African, of course, who has interest in the development of the African continent, in the past, he has criticized Dangote when Dangote said that he's not going to build the steel facility. So maybe this is the reason why they decided to reach out to him, so that they can, they see that he was criticizing his own government. Because this is one of the lessons that we learned, that the people who tend to be criticizing the African affairs, they are the ones who the West normally chooses out. Whether it is opposition leaders, they choose these type of people and they pump them with a lot of money to come and destroy the African continent, so that the imperialists and neo-colonial system can continue to dominate the African continent. So this could be the reason why they chose him as David Hundein, since he has ever criticized, Dangote, so that they can use this to attack, of course, the African continent, and attack Dangote and the interests of the African people. So this is what we are we are also learning that he has criticized Dangote in the past. So this is a great lesson that we should learn from this also. When we are criticizing, we need to do proper analysis. We need to do proper analysis, because if you look at it, all countries have industries, all countries have companies, all countries have corporations. So Africans also must learn how to play in the capitalist system. And that means that we are supposed to have also our own corporations. And that's why you see that Dangote, as an African corporation, as a giant, is putting fear in the hearts of the Europeans. And this is all the fight that we are seeing. They are fighting him from all angles. Of course, using also the internal elements within the African continent. But what do you think about what is going on, about these NGOs, about these neo-colonial institutions, and the fact that we have analyzed them at Connect Africa here repeatedly to try to show you the tactics which they use? Because remember, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah taught us that the best way to defeat neocolonialism is to expose it whenever it appears. And therefore, this is one of the ways in which we are seeing. Can you put that suggestion of what you think in the comment section? Please put it in the comment section, and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also please invite others and share with others whatever is on this channel. We have done so much in analyzing the condition on the African continent, especially in regards to neocolonialism and imperialism all across the African continent. We are very much interested in the African continent, whether in the south, east, west. Everywhere we are interested in the continent, and there's nowhere you will find such good analysis on the African continent apart from here at Connect Africa. So it is very important that you invite others, and like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and support the channel. Of course, support us, in the PayPal account. Support us with with some some contributions on the YouTube here, a super chat, of course. So come and support us so that we can be here more often, to analyze for you the African condition, and of course what is supposed to be done. And we will show you what we are doing in the background as a contribution to our action, our part of being active on the ground. And I'm a member of the Africa Continental Unity Party, as you are seeing in the bracket here on under my name. So this is some of the work we are doing in the background. So we will be able to come and tell you what we are doing also in the background and analyze for you as we go forward. So support us in the super chat, support us in sharing this channel and inviting other people, and also support us in our PayPal as a platform so that we can be here more often. My name is Kwame Gonza, and the channel is called Connect Africa. And also we broadcast on Africa Imagined on the other hand. So please support the channel. We're going to come with an extended analysis of this topic that we are seeing, where the West tried to to bribe David Honde, who is an African journalist. The Western NGOs try to bribe him. So it shows you that the struggle against imperialism and neocolonialism is ongoing. So whether you know it or not, as an African, the struggle against imperialism is happening. And whether you know it or not, they are fighting against us, and they are fighting against our interests. So it's very important that we are armed as Africans with the right material, with the right information, with the right tools for us also to fight back. So it's very important that we protect our investments, we protect, Dangote, we protect all the other Africans who we know that they are pushing the interests of the African continent. And also, this means that we have to shun those ones who are representing imperialism and neocolonialism, and that includes majority of the neo-colonial governments on the African continent. And we need to take this information out to our people so that we can, within this generation of ours, build a new African continent, as Nkrumah envisioned it, a new continent under one government with one foreign policy, one single military, and disturbed, the one which is not disturbed with the Western way of living or interruptions and grinding neocolonialism and the conditions which they put on the African people all over the continent. And of course, the humiliation, it comes with a lot of humiliation. Imperialism and neocolonialism requires that the Africans are humiliated into being nothing. Therefore, the intervention of neocolonial policies can be justified. That's what it requires. My name is Kwame Gonza once again. I want to thank you once again. Please like the channel, support the channel in every way. Support the channel and share it with other people out there so that we can be here more often to bring you the important news and the analysis that you can think of. My name is Kwame Kwanza. The channel is called Connect Africa once again, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much.